So I'm going to be starting off with a primer, and since we haven't got time to put any serum or moisturiser on, we're going to use a product that does more than one thing. This is really nice because it brightens the skin and it just makes any foundation you apply look flawless, basically. That's how I describe it. So just smoothing that over the skin. You don't have to apply this all over your skin, you can just apply it in the centre of your face and kind of blend it outwards. And this is honestly the fastest way to get great looking skin if you haven't had a lot of sleep, or you've just come back from work and your friends asked you out to go for a drink. This is just going to revitalise your skin and make it look like you've just had some sort of facial or something. So for foundation, I'm using the Mercier Silk Cream foundation, and I'm using this because I know it works perfectly on my skin. It has gorgeous full coverage and you only need to use the smallest amount because, like I said, it has really nice coverage. So I've just applied a small amount on the back of my hand. I'm going to go in with this brush here because I really like this brush and it's good at just applying foundation where you need it. So I'm going to start here because this is where I get my most redness. As you can see, you don't need to do a lot of work, you can literally just kind of brush it on in the same direction, then you can go in and kind of blend it. And just use it where you literally need it. And then if you have any extra left over, you can always go over your nose and wherever you need it. Try not to get confused with foundation being concealer, because foundation isn't meant to conceal, it's meant to even out. So it's meant to kind of make everything that doesn't match with your normal skin match and make everything look like a nice even canvas. So just getting rid of this redness. So for concealer, I'm using a formula I know I can trust. I know it works amazingly and it's just a great product. This is the Nars Creamy Concealer, and I'm just applying some in the areas that I really get dark. If you're doing kind of a glam look, I do suggest trying to use as little kind of face correcting products as possible, or just as much as you need, because sometimes it can look a little bit crazy and it kind of makes whatever look you have look a little bit outdated. So you want to keep the skin really fresh and modern. So I'm just buffing in the concealer now. And this is a really good concealer because it's really brightening, and doesn't matter how much sleep you've had, it just always corrects the eyes really nicely. And I don't know, it's always worked for me. The formula of this can be a little bit drying sometimes, but as long as you just apply a small amount, it's really good. Now I'm just going to correct any sort of redness or unevenness on my eyes using my Criss-Cross Backstage Eye Primer. And I always do this step really because I just think it just makes the eyes a nice clean canvas, and whatever shadows you put on, they're going to sit really nicely on top, and I really like it. So for brows, I'm going in with something that kind of has the spoolie on the end and the product on the other side, just because I find this is really quick to do. You don't have to reach for two products or two tools. So I'm just brushing through my eyebrows, and then with the other side I'm just filling in where I need to on the outer corners. And this has kind of a waxy formula as well, so it's going to make your brows stay in place as well. And you can just give that a comb through just to soften up any product you applied. Okay, so now I'm just going to tightline the top and bottom waterline using this Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes. These are good because they're waterproof and they don't come off as well. So I also think when you're trying to do your makeup in a hurry but you want it to look good, it's also useful to use kind of like stick cream products. This is by Jouer, and we're just going to blend this into the top lash line and then underneath as well, trying to get as close to the lashes as possible. And we're going to focus a little bit more on the outer corner. So next you want to blend whatever shadow you've applied. You can either use a 217 or something like this, a little bit more tapered, but just keep in mind the bigger and fluffier the brush is, the more kind of dragged down the blending is going to be. So I'm starting on the bottom with no product on the brush, and we're just blending nicely. I think this look is really gorgeous as well because it has kind of a metallic element to it, and with the cream shadow it's not a matte formula, so it looks a lot more glamorous when you use products that have different textures, I find, rather than just, you know, matte eyeshadows and things like that. So next I'm going to be taking this gold shade here called Bubbly from the Stila in the Light palette, and taking a fluffy brush I'm just blending it on top of the eye. And you just want this to kind of set the makeup you've done, and also to brighten the eyes, so when you open your eye you see a little bit of it kind of creeping through the crease. And this isn't you know, detailed kind of perfect makeup. This is a kind of smudgy Kate Moss sexy cat eye. I have the best way of describing things, don't I? So now I'm just curling my eyes as usual, and I think everyone should do this no matter how much time you have. Even if you have to be 2 minutes late, I think it makes such a difference. And even if you curl your lashes and you don't apply any mascara, it's really going to open your eyes up. So then I'm going to go on with Smokey Lash by Makeup Forever. This is a really nice, very pigmented black mascara. It's probably one of the most black mascaras I've ever used, and I'm really into Makeup Forever mascaras at the moment, if you can tell. Just really, really good. So you can just pop that on to deepen up your lashes. And we're going to apply some underneath as well, because I really can't not do makeup without doing mascara underneath. I think it's something that must be done. So next I'm going to go on with a matte bronzer, and honestly for evening looks you can get away with a lot more bronze skin and contouring, so I do think it makes a world of difference to apply some sort of bronzing product or contour, whatever you're comfortable with using. If you feel like you can't leave the house with contouring, then do that. If you feel like you love a bit of a bronze skin, then do that. But for me, I just like a little bit of colour on my forehead, a little bit here, obviously under the chin. You don't want to go too crazy because you want to be able to do it fairly fast. So normally for looks like this I wouldn't advise using any sort of strip or individual lashes, just because they take up a lot of time, but I always find that with corner lashes you can do them really fast and they really do exaggerate whatever makeup look you're doing. In this case, sort of like a wing smoky eye. So I'm using the Japonesque Demi Criss-Cross Demi Whispers. So I've just applied my lash glue, and it's so easy to do, guys. You know, you don't have to know how to apply lashes. You can take some tweezers. I would suggest using tweezers or, you know, a lash applicator. This one is by Uemura, and this is easier because it doesn't have a pointed edge and you're not going to stab yourself in the eye, which we don't want that. So I'm just basically dropping it onto the corner of my lash to meet up with where the natural lashes end. So next I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal product here. This is kind of like the YSL Glossy Stain. It has the kind of similar packaging going on and the same kind of tip applicator. And this shade is one of my favourite, kind of paired with a smoky eye or an everyday shade. And really quick to do, smells really good, and it looks really good. And it's not sticky either, which is one of my pet makeup hates. So I'm pretty happy with the finished look, and it's honestly probably one of the fastest tutorials I've ever done, so pat on the back for me there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I really do think this is a very universally flattering look. Simple, easy, kind of wing, elongated eye with gold on the lid. Really universally flattering, easy to do, and yeah, let me know if you recreate this look for anything you have going on in your life, and I'll see you soon. Bye!